What's up guys, Kevin Cage back with another XRP update. Hope all is well, and we'll be doing the giveaway at the end of this video if you participated yesterday. So to kick things off, we can see XRP is just over 20 cents plus in the last 2 days alone. If we are just taking a look on the 4 hour right here on Coinbase per the wick, again I know we're 44 cents, so right around even the bottom of the wick. We can come up and we're almost sitting at a 50% return alone from that recent low. Powerful stuff. I know we are currently hovering over 64 cents and Bitcoin is pulling this market. Now, I wanted to pull the other alts. If you look at historical data, I understand that there is a lag between this, but for now, I'm going to be erring on the side of caution. All right, so we can just look at Bitcoin's recent low from a few days ago on December 11th from that recent wick of even, 17,600, and we've pushed well over 30%. So all good and great. And just to remind everybody before we get into some really good information today, as an investor in the space, and this is primarily to anybody that, is just new to the space and all the hype, I'm here for optimal gains, and I'm here for percentage returns only, a true return on my investment. I'm only here and I only care about an ROI. I could buy a $20,000 plus, Bitcoin a unit, but at the end of the day, per the market capitalization, I just think it's a lot more likely, even if XRP does lag, for it to double my investment rather than Bitcoin. And of course, that's just looking at the pure tokenomics, but of course we could discuss market capitalization as well. But as you know, that's a metric for the stock market. It is all fairy dust. As they say in The Wolf of Wall Street, it's a fugazi, it doesn't exist. So, even from when we're at that recent low, say we bought at 45 cents. Let's just say 45. To get a 100% return, obviously, it would be double that. And just to double our money, we'd be looking to ride XRP to 90 cents. All right. Now for Bitcoin from that recent low, let's just do 17,600. And keep in mind our low for XRP was actually 43 cents, but I just started at 45. We'll go all the way to 100%, looking, and of course I have to go down to 36. So then we'll go say 17.6 and we're looking at 100% return. So, 35,000, 36,000, give or take. Now, from those targets, let's just see how close we are now from the current price. Let's just go to 90 cents. So we need another 40% push there. And from here to get to 35.4, we need about, let's say, give or take, a 50% push. So either way, it looks like XRP just needs less percentage to get there and double my money. That's what I'm looking at. And yes, I know sometimes Bitcoin could rocket to 30,000. XRP could be chilling at 60 cents. But if I've learned anything being in the XRP community for several years, is when you least expect it, things take off. And all of a sudden, you'll start seeing those 2x and 3x days. It happens, as you know. In 2017, we witnessed in like 3 weeks, XRP go from under 30 cents to over $3 in several weeks. It's very powerful stuff. And yes, I know this is largely speculative and I'm waiting for this market to mature. So when we're at $10 plus, etc., it'll actually stay there. There's more liquidity, the volatility decreases, and we have essentially a slower and steady climb. Because obviously, exponential growth, guys, if you can imagine an asset that is actually performing transactions for financial institutions steadily, consistently, and just imagine, a 3% return once a week. And that might not sound like much, but if you understand how exponential growth and compounding growth, essentially the eighth wonder of the world, works, it is extremely, extremely powerful. Anyways, let's get into the information. So right here, again, I was just saying when we were at 50 cents and Bitcoin was at 20,000, which one? The choice is yours. And one thing I do know is that I'm going to have a much larger return when, this Bitcoin value, this money, this volume actually flows into my other altcoin backs, as always. Now, sometimes there's a delay. Is this the most savage bull trap in history, or is this the official bull run? Doesn't matter to me because I am prepared and hedged either way. I've been accumulating for several years, but we have to entertain both sides. All right, even if this is actually the bull run as many believe. So right here, guys, I Am Legion, absolutely love this. If you're familiar with this is Temenos, the world's #1 banking software. So I've probably mentioned them 300 times in the past few years, and we have the world's #1 banking software. Over 3,000 banks in 150 countries run Temenos. Simple software. So right there, we do know Ripple is partnered with them and enabled, right? As we can see here, their T24 stack, their core banking solution, integrated Ripple technology a while back. And we can see bridging the gap between blockchain technology. We even saw that recent webinar about, what is it called? Bridging the gap in CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. We hear about central bank digital currencies. We also hear solving the last mile problem. Not even in telecom. We're talking in the world of payments, the last mile problem. There's all this infrastructure that needs to be ripped up and replaced, and Ripple is actually just trying to enable it all together, and they're doing it exceedingly well. The future is looking for bright. What is this? Future is looking for bright for Ripple and its partner. I think it's a little typo there. But nonetheless, so we have Temenos, 3,000 banks right there. Just single little plug and play, you're good to go. We also know Finastra, which is 9,000 clients. So we have 3,000 banks there. We have 9,000 banks, and Finastra's already partnered with. Out of the top 50 banks in the world, it's the top 48. So yeah, I mean, I'm the guy that says I don't think Ripple just has 300 or 400 direct partners. I think a little differently because I see these partnerships and I understand how network effects work and Pareto's law, 80-20. If we can get the top 20% biggest banks and institutions, they might actually control the top 80% of the volume and transaction sizes. So if you can consider me very bullish for XRP compared to other digital assets. I mean, massively. There's proof in the pudding. There's proof in the liquidity. So no, Ripple right here. The Ripple-enabled intelligent gateway allows banks to send payments in real time across the globe. I mean, for God's sake, for the Global Payment Steering Group, we had Don Donahue, who is the former CEO of the DTCC, and they process over $2 quadrillion per year. Banks must consider the risks and complexity in adopting any new technology. Now CGI, of course, and this whole intelligent gateway is massive. We can look at, I've shown their slideshows of them working with Swift and then specifically naming Ripple as like this update. And yes, I know it seems hypey, but it was really exciting to see that on their slide. This product makes access to Ripple as easy as flipping a switch. Now, we remember the gentleman from the DTCC saying, yes, we are the Fed before the Fed. And why I Am Legion right here is saying 3,000 Christmas lights. 3,000 Christmas lights ready to be turned on as easy as flipping a switch, waiting for regulatory clarity. Understand there's this term called mass enablement, and it essentially means lighting all these corridors, and the money can go live by flipping a single switch simultaneously. So very powerful stuff. It does include speculation. Now, there's either this side, or you can believe that we're just going to grow slow and steady. Either way, we're on the same side. I just believe in XRP as a digital asset that will source liquidity for many institutions and already has done over $1 billion in transaction volume. This is the asset you hold. You're not holding a single Bitcoin and saying it's a store of value and you can't even send it like within seconds. This is an asset that I can get behind. So, recent news. We have Ripple add Sandy O'Connor to the board of directors. Guys, if you have time, go look at the board of directors. Go look at some of the advisors. Once you see that, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I have to own a little XRP at least. So, right here, Ripple, leading provider of enterprise blockchain for global payments, announced Sandy O'Connor is joining its board of directors. She has over 30 years of leadership experience with a deep background in finance. And of course, we know where she came from, and we'll go over this briefly. As Ripple expands its global network to push for regulatory clarity in the US, as we recall where their new regional headquarters is, they're expanding, they're not slowing down, they're not waiting for regulatory clarity. But when clarity comes, it is game time, and that's when they'll really be able to scale and get to that next level. The United States is the most strict country in the world. If you have clarity there, you have clarity everywhere else. All right, we already know how tight they are with the UAE, with Singapore, with all these other jurisdictions. Switzerland, you can't make it up. They're all working with them, and they've been doing this for a good 8 years. Sandy is extremely well respected by her peers on Wall Street. And remember, it's not who you know, or it's not what you know, it's who you know. So her network is rather powerful. And this is just a little taste. We, of course, are familiar with Craig Phillips, who's all about Ripple, and he's buddies with Steve Mnuchin. Back in the day at Goldman Sachs, back in the day at BlackRock. We have Robbie Mitchnick, who is also at Ripple, and he's head of blockchain at BlackRock, one of the biggest custodians in the world. And yet there's guys that just think, Ripple's a scam because they never bothered to look at it. Hilarious. So the US needs a single, clear regulatory framework for crypto that levels the playing field. Again, that terminology, democratizing finance, as Chris Larson says, and supports American innovation in companies. So going over this, notice she recently retired as the Chief Regulatory Affairs Officer at JP Morgan Chase. We can see she's led engagement with G20 regulators and policymakers regarding evolving regulation. Sounds like the perfect lady for the job. All right, so keep an eye on this. We're going to watch this very, very closely. Today's payments infrastructure using digital assets and blockchain technology. XRP will be one of the biggest digital assets they use, as they've said time and time again. If you watched my video yesterday, watching them talk in 2014, it's very evident. And that was at Google, and Google Ventures is an early investor of Ripple. Anyways, so this is shared by Manny6Manny. This was several months ago, I believe. And this is Sandy O'Connor. And she serves on the, serves on several industry association boards, and chairs the Federal Reserve's Alternative Reference Rates Committee. Now, she's talking about LIBOR, she's talking about the SOFR, excuse me, you guys can read these right here, and she almost talks faster than me. This has to be on 2x speed. There's no way. Just listen to this really quick.
They be necessary, or not sure that they will be necessary, on when legacy contracts will convert.
That's no way that is normal playback speed. That's like Kevin Cage times 4. I can't even handle that. But anyways, super interesting. She's focusing on all these rates, of course. We can consider, foreign exchange, all of this. Nonetheless, exciting that she's in this position now for Ripple. Also, I know many of you have seen this. Bank of France set to conduct 8 experiments to test potential of digital currency. Now, I know I've mentioned this since even February or March when the Bank of France put out the document showing Ethereum and XRP as actual networks that could be bridged or used to build central bank digital currencies on. Now, that's not hype. That's just simple fact that a central bank, the Central Bank of France for that matter, has conducted experiments and looked into that. Very powerful stuff. So, of course, we're looking at all this CBDC stuff. We're looking at even the whole European Union is going over that as well. We can see this autumn, the Euro system has adopted a similar hands-on approach for its experiments on a digital euro for the general public. Now, you know the answer for this. Whether these countries make their fiat digital or not, XRP is still the bridge. It's a neutral bridge, no counterparty risk. You guys get the gist. Agnostic protocols, flexible, real-time, single API. But nonetheless, you have to clarify. So a push towards digitalization is all good and great. I don't think it's bad one bit. If anything, it's going to make Ripple's job easier to enable finance. Next, if you guys want to read more about this is just for Flare Finance overall. Just need to know. I saw this circulating around on Twitter for DeFi. This is bravenewworld.tech, and they have a blog here if you guys want to read more about that. Also, so we have some big money moving on the way. Obviously, Bitcoin is over 23,000. And Grayscale now has $13 billion in crypto assets under management. I remember, even just talking about them like last year and just talking about, seeing them grow each and every day, watching Coinbase's assets under management get over $10 billion. It's just crazy to watch this industry grow. And the funny thing is, we are just so early. Some people, will say that's a bad thing. For me, that is nothing but opportunity. Notice, digital asset manager Grayscale has passed another milestone, reaching $13 billion in assets under management. Now we can see kind of how much, Bitcoin they have, a whole bunch. We can see Ethereum, and we can see XRP. And we got to bump those numbers up. Those are kind of rookie numbers, as we can see. And guys, I'm just excited. And also right here, so let's see, Grayscale, SEC filing. There's just a bunch of other news of different organizations as well. So we have SIBO plans to launch cryptocurrency indexes in Q2 2021. We're seeing this across the board. 2021, we're seeing all this economic uncertainty. This pandemic has urged payments, and it's shown how slow and archaic a lot of the payment system is. Even the overall, just like the check to everybody sent, took forever, and it took months. And sometimes it's almost like, is this chaos planned to a certain degree? Now, I understand it's also real, so don't get me wrong. But again, this overall, the shutdowns, all this is just showing how inferior our existing infrastructure is today. And I think it's going to complement and essentially act as that rubber band to pull back crypto and get ready to shoot it into the future. Because crypto and blockchain are one of the same, and they will be used together. All right. So we have, again, SIBO, Global Markets, joining the race to take crypto pricing mainstream. Their competitors are going to see this on and on and on. It's a snowball effect. Powerful stuff, network effects. Notice, Mass Mutual, again, I know we covered this a while ago. They buy $100 million in Bitcoin. I mean, it just reminds me of like what MicroStrategy is doing with the Treasury, and they're betting on its institutional adoption with $5 million right there. So powerful. Of course, we talked about the NYDIG recently, talked about Chris Larson talking about great custody for, XRP as well. Should be no surprise. Nonetheless, I'm excited for this market. We're seeing a little bit of pullback here. Guys, I would love to know where you think XRP is going to go in this next, of course, ups, downs are natural, but where are you calling it? Let's just say in the next 2 weeks. So by January 1st, where is XRP? Where is Bitcoin? Where is your favorite crypto for that matter? Anyways, let's get into the giveaway. Congratulations to Samayas.crypto, thank you. We have GregThomas.crypto as another winner, congratulations. And also MHasabala.crypto, congratulations. So MHasabala, you have won Algorand. Greg, you actually originally won VET VeChain, but we're loading it with VeThor, so we're actually going to send you XRP in the meantime. So any VeChain fans, stay tuned for the coming days for another VeChain giveaway. And then also, Samaya, you have won XRP. And really quick, let's finish up and I'll just show you a video of MHasabala receiving his algo. So right here on Trust Wallet, type in $100 and we can see the algo, about 293 algo sent, and voila. All right, guys, hope you appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.